Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be giving my opinions that are not necessarily very solicited, but I'll be giving my opinions on each of the surviving girls that made it to Island Part 2. Without further ado, we begin. The first girl we will be talking about is the one that was voted in 6th place, aka gyuri. Gyuri has shown that she is super young, but so mature. She's been taking care of the girls in her group, especially Jiyoon and Ua. I really like her maturity. I really like how she performs, but she's not really on my top picks because more than being very young, she has a very youthful aura to her, and I don't really see the group debuting with this kind of aura. Maybe they do that because in Are You Next, I wanted them to debut with a concept that was like witches or something, something dark like in Hypen, and in the end they came out with Magnetic. In the group that I'm envisioning, she's too youthful for that concept, but I feel like she's very talented, and I'm glad that we're gonna see more from her. She has been the main vocal, she has been center, she has shown a lot, but I think she can show even more. And honestly, I feel like she could be someone that Koreans really take a liking for because she's sweet and she's so mature. She's so nice and cute, and I don't know, I really like that personality of her. But as a performer, she's good, but not really my style. So that's that. But she made it. Juwon was in 5th place in our eliminations, or the first eliminations that we had to stay in. I think she is amazing in terms of performance. She showed us that she can dance. And she's also a pretty good vocalist. Like in Panorama, she showed us that she was a very good vocalist. I mean, not the best vocalist in the show, but she held her ground in a nice one song as the lead vocalist, and I really appreciated that. Her dancing is really good, and also her stage presence is really good, but I do think that the chances of her debuting are pretty low. But I do really like her. I do like her stage presence. If she debuts, I'd be happy with it because I think she is a killer on the stage. I don't really see her as a center, but I do think she is really good at what she does. I wasn't sure if she was gonna make it past the eliminations, but I'm happy that we can see more for her. I do think the edit was favoring her a lot, especially after she went to the ground. So hopefully it will stay like that and she will have a decent screen time and we'll be seeing more from her. But I am pretty happy that she survived. Next, we have Sujung in 4th place, and I love that for her. Because the show isn't super popular in Korea, I was scared that the Korean votes would be super inflated and they had a lot more power, and then Sujung wasn't going to make it to the next part, but I'm glad she did. I'm really glad we're gonna see more from her because she's one of these girls that knows that she can show more and that actively tries to show more. And I love that. I do feel like we'll keep seeing the same theme as we saw before of the producers expecting so much from her dance and stuff like that, and always kind of downplaying how talented she actually is. But I love that she made it. I think she's so pretty. I think she's so talented, and I absolutely live for her being a leader and being funny and trying to be a vocalist and maybe even getting to be a vocalist. I mean, if she improves a little more in vocals, I do think she can be a really decent vocalist. So I'm happy to see her journey from here on, and I'm really happy that I'll get to see what else she has to show us, because I'm sure she's gonna show us more. Or at least I'm sure she's gonna try to show the most that she can. I do hope that the Koreans warm up to her. She was definitely carried by the international voting, but she got 90,000 Korean votes, which albeit it's a 6-pick kind of situation, and she got a lot of screen time throughout the whole entire season. So in this type of system where you can pick 6 girls, it does feel like the obvious choice to have her in it, but maybe some of those remain and become 1-pick voters. I'm not sure how the last voting will work, but now we have 3 picks, so I do think in the end it's gonna go down to 1 pick, and I'm not sure how she's doing in terms of 3-pick voters or 1-pick voters. I'm just happy that I'm gonna see more from her. I love her bangs. She's my favorite contestant to watch in the behind the scenes because I love her glasses. I think she knows how to be playful and entertain us in the behind the scenes, and I love her wearing glasses, like those giant frames that are crazy. I do see a lot of people saying that Sujung isn't really liked by Mnet, but I do think they give her a lot of screen time for someone that quote-unquote isn't well liked by Mnet. Well, from what I saw, she wasn't really well liked by some Korean netizens because of her height, but I'm not sure how that reflects the whole general audience, but I really hope she makes it. She is not my top pick, my favorite girl out of them all, but I feel like she has just so much to show and it makes me happy to see her. And I also think that Lee Jung really likes her. Sejung is definitely one of the picks for Lee Jung. I mean, Saebi is also one of Lee Jung's favorites, but I think Sejung has a special place in her heart. I do think the dancers, they put a lot of pressure in Sejung, that the other judges shouldn't have the same mindset, but it feels like all the judges have the same mindset around her. They want her to do more with her dancing, but she's always trying to show more, so I'm sure she's gonna be able to. Hopefully she panders to the other judges so Sejung can make it. In third place, we had Yuju, and I'm so happy that she made it. She is one of my favorites. She can dance, she can rap, she can be center, she can sing. I think she has so much more to show us. So I hope that in part 2, she isn't constricted to small parts. I don't know why she picked small parts in first place. I think she needs to show more of herself. And it felt like she was more willing to do so early on in the competition rather than later. But I hope she gets to show us more. And I really liked the story she had in the beginning about going to the ground. And honestly, she did an amazing baggy jeans performance. And the only reason she went to the ground was because she didn't sing like one line. And then that granted her whole arc of being the center. And she did an amazing center. And in Reina Mi, she also did great. The thing is, I need her to get out there. Get the parts. You're talented, you're pretty, you can have more to yourself than what you're showing us. So I'm really glad we're gonna see more from her. She's definitely one of my favorites. In second place for these eliminations, we had Koko. And I'm not sure how she became so popular and everyone voted for her, but I really like her. I've been wanting to see a lot from her since Baggy Jeans. And I was so sad in Panorama when she had like 2 lines and she didn't sing much. But she redeemed herself with I Will Always Love You. That was great. I really like what she brings to the table, how she dances. She's an incredible dancer. I also enjoyed how she kind of found herself. She understood what she wasn't good at and she tried to improve in that area, and I think she did a great job improving in it, and it was amazing. I don't know how she got so many votes, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it at all, and I'm not sure how much of them translate into 1 pick, 3 pick, but she's definitely a Japanese pick. So Japan has been voting a lot, so they're probably gonna vote her and probably gonna make it to debut. I would like to see more of her singing abilities because I know that she can dance now, so I'm curious for that. But I really like her. I really like her aesthetic, her figure as well. Her visual is really nice. Her proportions are also really nice. That is not something that I pay a lot of attention, but I don't know if it's the outfits that they choose for her or if it's the comparison of her with the other girls, but I really like her proportions. And in the dance unit, she was crazy, so I really hope to see more from her. Honestly, she should rap more. We saw her rapping in Baggy Jeans, so maybe she can rap more. I'm not sure if I have her in my top 7, to be honest, and I didn't like sit down and make a top 7 for myself. So like in my mind, I have like 3 favorites or 5 favorites, and I'm not sure of the other ones, but she would probably be, if not in my top 7, close to being my top 7. And in first place, unsurprisingly from the eliminations, we had Jimin, and Jimin it's someone that like will definitely debut, right? We all know, and like this show was made for her. It's like Heesung because she's super popular. But actually, I don't think her debut is super guaranteed. I do think it is like kind of guaranteed. I do feel like she needs to show us more because she didn't have any moment that was show-stopping. She didn't have any moment that she was incredible and a standout. She definitely shows that she's ready to debut and that she has what it takes. But in this show, she didn't show as much as I've wanted her to. I mean, I watched her in RU Next, and she wasn't really my favorite in RU Next, and she isn't my favorite here either. But I definitely think she is debut ready, and I definitely want her to debut. But, you know, I am missing the moment that we look at her and we're like, I know you're gonna debut. I know that when she debuts, and people make videos of like, when did we know that each person was gonna debut? And Jimin is gonna be like her entry, just like Hanbin in Boys Planet. But I need a moment where I'm like, she is essential to the group. I need her to show me why she is number 1, why she is so good. She was number 1 in RU Next. She was a number 1 trainee there as well. And in RU Next, she was able to show a lot more versatility versatility in terms of concepts. She showed a lot more than what she's showing now. I feel like in this show, she's kind of one note. She's not bad by any means, but she's not surprising me either, and she's not making me gush all over her. So I'm missing that kind of performance. I need one performance from her where she absolutely turns it around or completely shows something different, because I'm kind of tired of her always raising her eyebrows when she's looking at the camera and always having that look. Like, I expect that from her now, so I want to see something a little different. But again, she's so pretty, so talented, so debut ready, but I need a little more for her to be sold to me. The more that she plays it safe, the less of a chance she has to debut. I think she needs to have a bold moment, or maybe they need to create a story for her to be like super secured. But most of that for me to be like, yes, Jimin. Because these survival shows are the chances that you have to show yourself. After you debut, you kind of have fixed roles and you're kind of going to do always the same thing. The survival show is the place for you to push boundaries and show yourself and try different things. So I hope she does that. And I'll be expecting for her, especially since she said in her part 2 video, like, I'm going to be center Jimin, I'm going to be singer Jimin, I'm going to be main dancer and whatever. Like, yes, show me everything that you have, all your talents, all the sides that there is to you. Then going on into the other islanders that were saved by the producers, we have Sarang. Sarang is someone that I'm not super fan of. Like, I like her performances. I think she did a really good job in Unforgiven, in her dance concept. She also did a really good job in I Will Always Love You. But I don't think I really like her as a performer. Like, she's really good, but she doesn't speak to me. And that's it. I think she's really talented. She's very versatile with concept, even though she's younger. I didn't really understand much of her story, where the judges were like, you need to be more I sarang rather than you sarang, and I didn't understand if that was like a play on her surname or if she was actually like paying more attention into other people. But I still agree with the judges with what they said, that she shines when other people are in the center, but when she's in the center, it's a bit flat. She did a good job though in the dance unit and I Will Always Love You. I wouldn't be mad if she debuts because she's obviously talented, but she's just not someone I extremely appreciate. Next up, we have Fuko. Fuko is absolutely amazing. I love her. I think I love the edit that they give her. I love her voice. I love how she sings. I love how she acts. I love what they show us in the performances, and I love what she shows in the behind the scenes. I think she's essential to the group and I really want her to debut. She's so polished, I would say, as a trainee. She knows how she wants to express things. She knows how she wants to show herself on camera. She knows how the performance should be. She has a clear vision and idea, and she can execute it perfectly. Fuko is someone that you could just debut right now. I just loved how she was portrayed at first, but then I was like, oh, maybe I only like her because Mnet is making all this fuss around her. And then she had the I'm Fine performance, and I was like, girl, I like her because she's amazing. Like, she's really good. And she's also so pretty. I love her visuals. And I loved her as a center for Bad Boy. I loved her as a vocalist. So I think she showed us many talents. If you show me that you're a good vocalist, that's already like so much, you know. I consider that a lot. You don't have to show me dance because obviously if you can do the choreography and you don't look wanky, like you're doing a good job. So I don't have anything else that I crave to see from her, you know what I mean? She had her moments that she was like splendid. So I want to see how she keeps that up and if she has any other rediscoveries. But for now, like, I'm so content with what she showed and I'm more than glad to have her debut. So please debut. Mai is another one in the top for me. Recently, people started hating on Mai, and I understand where they come from with like, why was she picked? She's only a visual and whatnot. But I think she has a really important role and she knows how to execute it well. Just like Fuko, she is very professional. She has a really good mindset. So as a teammate, she is very important. We have seen her time and time again get the smallest parts and be like, no, it's okay because I'm gonna shine and I'm gonna make the best out of it. And she just boosts the team morale, so much so that she was the most voted when it was like, who should stay in Iland? She was the most voted because she did a really good job taking the team together. I also think since she's on the older side, I think she's one of the oldest trainees, she has a more clear vision of how she wants to execute stuff. and how she wants the performance to be. Whereas Fuko comes off to me as a more experienced trainee, whereas Mai is someone with clear vision of what they want and how they want to execute it. And she is very creative, as we saw in the creative unit. She picked up the group from nothing and she made it something really, really special. She knows how to use her face herself. She doesn't just go to a performance and act pretty, quote unquote. She tries out with different expressions. She is bold and she goes out of her way to make herself shine in the performance without overdoing it and without underdoing it. So I really like her. I think when people are like, she's only a visual, no, she has a really good stage presence and she is someone that is like a good person to be a glue to the group. I think she would be a great leader and just a great person to rely on when you are in a group. And I think that's really important for team chemistry. In a performance, I always look forward to the point where she's gonna show and she's gonna blow me away, and she always blows me away with her 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Her one line is killer, and I do wish for her to debut. I do know that the chances aren't very good because I see a lot of people disliking her and thinking she's only visual. Like if someone is a visual, it's like it's enough because they're a visual. But also it's a box where people close you in, where it doesn't matter how talented you are, you're a visual. So it downplays your talents. And I admitted that she's not the most talented girl. Is she an exceptional singer? No. Is she an exceptional dancer? Oh, she's a pretty good dancer, I would say. But she always gives something else to the performance. And I think she elevates the performance with whatever she shows. And I also think she's really versatile in terms of concepts. She was really good at panorama, and I wasn't expecting her to be good at that because I think she would be really good at girl crush and like darker concepts, but she did elegant really good. She did I Will Always Love You really well, and obviously she killed it in drama. So I really like her. I do wish I could see her try other stuff out, like maybe rapping. I'm dying to see some girls rap, and maybe we can see her having a dance break or singing a little more. I do think singing is her weakest link, and usually I don't like girls that aren't singers. My favorites are usually vocalists, but I really like mine. Then we have Jungeun, and Jungeun is so freaking talented. I absolutely live for her vocals. It's not fun. The group can't be a group without her. And I know they're making like Jungeun versus Jiyoon, but I think Jungeun is just the best trainee that they have there. She's the best vocalist. She's also so pretty. I'm always surprised. I love her with a ponytail. I think ponytail should be her signature look. She looks splendid like that. And she's so young. She's only 16. Which had me shocked. But I mean, she's incredible. She has a really nice voice. I'm Fine was insane. I do think she needs to understand how to immerse herself in the performance more because she feels very technical. But that's a minor thing, and that's something that she's definitely gonna get with experience and with more performances. But I absolutely love her. I think since the beginning she has shown that she is essential, and I did think that this, oh my gosh, we need to have Jungeun fall apart now. Like, people don't think that she's necessary to the group, but I still think that her voice is everything we need in the group. And she's so good. She had to lead people in the first episode, and she did a good job at it after a while. So I really like her, and I think she's so freaking talented that if I don't see her debut, I probably will cry. Someone else that I will cry if I don't see debut is saebi. Saebi has the most star power I have ever seen recently. Like, I've watched a lot of survival shows, and she is the only one that just gives me I was born to be an idol. She literally such a killer. Every performance she is in, she embodies it so well, and she presents it so well that when she's on my screen, I cannot take my eyes off of her. She's perfect. She can do no wrong. Showstopper. A cultural reset. Tall, gorgeous, and just amazing. I really, really hope to see her debut. She is the one girl that I'm curious to see how she will be as a seasoned idol, because she already has shown so much talent until now. Imagine when she is like presenting at Mama and stuff like that. Like, girl, I need to see you perform. Last but not least, we have Jiyoon. Jiyoon, oh, she's been through so much. In the beginning, it was so hard to watch her. I thought in the beginning, Eminem was trying to make her a villain, but I wasn't really hating her, so I was like, there's something wrong with the editing. And then she had a redemption, and I was like, I see why I didn't hate her in the beginning. But I think Jiyoon is just such a real person. She's very opinionated. She believes in herself and she knows her talent. And I really like that. I think usually in survival shows, especially Korean ones, we're more accustomed to see Korean trainees specifically being very nice, very cheerful, always helpful, especially in Mnet shows where we have Chinese contestants or foreigners. They always make them look bad for having opinions and evil editing them. So I think it's a change of pace seeing someone that is Korean being this firm and, you know, having an edit like this. Obviously, it's not super evil, so it's uncomparable to other Chinese trainees, but I mean, the persona, just not being super cheerful, not being super complacent, showing emotions. It's just something that really intrigued me. But overall, Jiyoon is amazing. Honestly, I do think a lot of people like Jiyoon a lot. And I do think she has a really, really, really good vocal. Like we saw in her eyes, nose, and lips cover where she performed in front of Taeyang, and Taeyang was like, damn girl, you performed. And I mean, she killed it there, and I think she's amazing, and I do think I want to see her debut. But I also do think that there's something missing in her performance. From her facial expressions, maybe. I think I need a little bit more stage presence, a little bit more immersion inside the song. The vocal unit battle was the only performance of her where I saw her be very immersed. The other ones always feel like she is there, but she could be in any other song. So I hope she practices on that, on her facial expressions and her stage presence, because her talents are already there. She knows how to dance, she knows how to sing. She has a very beautiful skill that sets her apart from everyone else, so I hope she just improves in that. I don't think she's one of the girls that I really, really like, or that, oh my gosh, I will die if I don't see her debut, but I really like seeing her, and I hope that in part 2, not only we can see her improve in the ways that I mentioned, but also I want to know how Jiyoon and Jungeun will act, because I feel like now that they know how they're perceived by the public, they're gonna try to change it up, and I want to see, will she be the one to change the dynamic or to come forward, or will it be Jungeun? Will they still be competing? Honestly, I feel like Jungeun and Jiyoon could maybe do a really good main vocalist and lead vocalist. But anyways, these were my thoughts on the girls. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great week. Check out my other videos, like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think about each of the girls. Who are you cheering on? Who do you want to debut? What's your top 7? Bye-bye!